So, in the literature review of this article, basically it talked about how how it's important to look upon different factors or stressors that come about as a result of a shift in how many dual earner couples there are, and especially when these couples have kids or still living at home, still in school, and basically these stressors would be um, work family conflict, psychological distress, and marital conflict or marital role quality. And basically, there's been a lack of research in this area, so that's basically the gap. And it was shown that there's different things that have been like documented specifically for research, such as how there's really been marriage distress between dual earner couples, but like now they're focusing on shift worker couples, which was seen in one article, and basically those are they work specific type of hours as shift workers, and another important thing I guess you could say would be like that mothers have been shown to spend equal amount of time in the home and at work, basically, um, regardless of their work shift schedule. They basically have split their work between their children and their housework, and their actual jobs. So now at this time, it has seen through time that there has been many changes. There's been more of a presence of mothers in the workforce, more dual earner couples, more people working shift hours, and also children being factored in. So that's basically how the authors looked in a direction for this topic. And basically, for the methods, they used a sample of 55 families in which the mothers would work around 30 hours a week, and they would regularly work in the day or in the night shift. Also, the fathers were employed, and the mothers were employed as registered nurses. So, the children also had to be between ages 8 to 14. And the sample was really drawn randomly from the registry of the Board of Certification in Nursing. Um, so basically, you could get a clear understanding of how the research was taken, like it wasn't biased or anything like that. And then each type of stressor was looked upon like on a different scale, such as like the work-family conflict used an 8-item scale, psychological used a state measure scale asking like participants to say how much anxiety or stress they felt based off certain situations, and also for like marital role quality it was using a 15-item scale from a previous adopted scale called the marital role quality scale. Finally, for the results of this article, it was shown that women who typically work the night shift usually reported that they had a higher level of work-family conflict. Now, for psychological distress, there really weren't showings to indicate that mothers who worked night shifts or mothers who worked day shifts had different levels or higher levels, like one outdid the other for psychological distress, and this basically supported the author's hypothesis in this area. Now, for marital role quality, like wives and husbands were not really affected by work hours. Like work hours didn't really contribute to the amount of quality in their marriage. So you'd have to look elsewhere to see if there really is marital distress as a result of specific types of jobs and things like that. And overall, the results were, like, I guess you could say there were negative effects, especially regarding like family work conflict. But really, there are types of limitations that can set back the research that really need to be considered besides the specific variables chosen. And you really need to look at other things to in order to say that these stressors really contribute to the mothers and the relationships in these dual earner couples. And also, for the type of job that the moms had, nurses, it's really not your standard shift worker because they have more control over their work schedule than most shift workers do. So this is really significant to look into, as different shift workers could have different experiences depending on their job, depending on the hours, depending on all sorts of things.